Alright guys, back with another quick one. I had a few people commenting and questioning of whether or not some of these pops are authentic. How to tell if I have a real one? How do I tell if you have a fake one? What's going on? I had a few people that were questioning different things, not just from my own collection, but just from other people in general who are not sure if they have an authentic real Funko Pop. And especially with these older ones, these are the ones that a lot of people end up having some issues with. So I'm going to go with the Martian, which is one of the ones that I know a lot of people will sort of question about. So real quick, let's go through it real quick, and I will show you some of the differences in how to tell that yours is real. Number one, just look at this. The bubble on this is usually very, very nice. It's got a really nice clean. You can see it's not too close to the plastic, and it's not too close to the top up here. Usually if the bubble is basically like right here or too big, you can tell it's fake as hell. That's one of the issues that you have. Now, don't get me wrong, these cannot always be the situation. A lot of these things can be fakes, and like I said, fakes are getting better and better and better. It's hard to tell for sure. But that right there is a big sign right there to know you have a real one, is that this looks like it lines up pretty well. Another way to tell too is this right here. The wording on this, especially on the bottom, this, you know, the warning and choking hazard one, it's usually really, it looks like it's faded or really kind of almost done, not in the black, but it would be done almost in a gray. As you can see, there's no grayness on that one. It's all black. It looks nice. It's there. They did a pretty good job on it, as well as the tint of the board. If you look at the board, look, it has that nice shine that a Funko Pop would kind of usually have. It pops pretty nice. You could tell if it's done on some cheap, crappy, fake board, it's not going to do that. It's just, there's no way you're going to get that. The same with this one. See, it's got that nice sort of pop shine that it's supposed to get. The other thing you could tell by too, if you look at this, a lot of times when you look at the Martian on the box, on the both sides of the box, he'll be a lot more lighter. This is the way you could tell that if your Funko Pop is also fake, is that the Martian on the box himself is very dark. Also you can tell by around the box as well, at these parts right here, the wordings, the name, these come in like a really dark, really heavy dark colors. And as you can see here, they're definitely a little bit dark, but not the way that it would be if as a fake pop would be. Everything pops in nice, it looks clean, and there's a lightness to it. It's not like a really dark, crappy cardboard. That's how you can tell. And the Martian, like I said, is the other way to have it, where like right here in the white face would be a lot more browner and darker, and you can see that right here as well. And by the way, for those who don't know, another big sign to have a fake is you could tell the pops on the box have these red little symbols on his chest. If you can see in here, let me put it up a bit, if I can even get it in the goddamn light. There you go. Got the red chest. If it's a fake one, most of the time, it will sometimes be colored in completely gray. That's another way to tell when something's going on a bit. Now, I had someone question my helmet in here too. The one thing you have to remember is that not all Funko Pops are always kept in the box. When I got mine, by the way, I'll also discuss this in a second about like where you get your Pops is also just as important. You know, when I got mine, he was the person who had him before me, took care of him and had it very well. But this Funko Pop, when he got it, wasn't out of the box pop. And he said he did drop it once before. And as you can see right there, because it was out of the box, it did fall and get a little bang right there. So it would definitely not make my Funko Pop perfect, but it would definitely not be, you know, you could definitely see where it took a hit there. And someone said, well, if you got there, it could be a defect. Now, don't get me wrong, Funko makes defects all the time. It can happen, but that's one of those things right there you can take in. But if it's a Funko Pop that's been out of the box a few times, that's this one. Another one you can tell is, let's get up close to his face and his head. You see the top of his head right here? If this brain matter is way up here and you see a lot more of like his forehead, that's definitely a huge sign that the pop is fake, because a lot of times when they do it, they're not going to go all the way down here like the brain, showing the full brain right here. It will be way more up here, and you would see this area right here I'm running my finger around, it would be a lot more green. It would be more matching his face. But if you have the brain down here like it's supposed to be, kind of close to the nose, you can see it. And like I said, even these ones have paint defects. Let's go all the way into the teeth. The teeth also is another sign of that as well. You can definitely tell the teeth lines, as well as these won't be colored in. They'll be colored in the red that they're colored in, not black. If you see the side of his cheeks covered in, sorry, it's starting to kind of blur out. Let me see. Come on, camera. There we go. See how the signs of his cheeks got the red in them? That's also what you want to see. Well, the teeth will be dark and black with the scum in it, and then the side of the cheeks will be red. If you have the side of the cheeks when it's covered in completely black, similar to like the teeth, that's another big sign that this pop can be fake. Now, let's go to two of the bigger signs. The two biggest signs that I've always kind of noticed is right here on the top. You see how this pop right here says? You can see the edges right here perfectly. It fits in the box bubble perfectly like it's supposed to. If this pop thing is hecka bigger and literally popping into the sides like this, that's a huge sign that it's fake, and one of the biggest signs you can get, as well as this guy right here on the pop. If I pull back more, he's got the little head like he's supposed to be. Sometimes these fake ones will have the head super big. They'll be way bigger and better. Now, these are also things that, like I said, pop fakes get better and better, so there's always time to fix things up and alter them up, but that's a huge sign that you could tell right there. The bottom has some interesting factors to it as well. Is the small corner in the head, not that big, little like it's supposed to be. There's his number right there, the JJL111210, manufactured by Funko. It will have this sort of outlook and line right there perfectly. That's how it's kind of supposed to be. Sometimes when you're looking things up, like the barcode numbers will be way bigger. You can also tell by this being a little more faded out. Now, some of the fake ones will have this sticker as well, but you'll be able to tell if the sticker looks fake, because if you feel on this sticker and you get kind of close to it, it still has that plasticky, nice Funko style sticker that you expect. It doesn't have that cheap, almost, I don't want to call it cardboard, but like it has like a sticky, more cheap paper feel that you could tell if your pop has it or not. And if it has that sort of feel and texture, you'll be able to know another way too that your pop is fake. You feel this one, it feels like it's the way it's supposed to, has that nice piece to it. Yeah, so there you kind of go. People were wondering kind of about it. Last but not least, like I said, this pop has been opened up before. The person who had it before me is one of those guys that kind of takes care of his collection, but he was an out-of-box collector, but he took and kept care. He didn't really take a super care of it. As you can see, it's definitely got some little edge hits, and it's got some little issues that it's going to have for sure. But he kept the boxes is what I was going to say. He always kept the boxes, but he was an out-of-box collector. Now, last but not least is where you buy your pops. I think that's the most important thing ever. You can't always trust eBay and a lot of other sellers like Macari and a lot of that. But if you go to reputable pop sellers that you know. Now, when I got mine, I ended up getting mine from some very well-known reputable sellers, and that is from Fugitive Toys. That is where this guy came from. I went to Fugitive Toys, which is not too far from where I live, went in there, talked to a bunch of the guys that were in there at the time, and one of the guys that was in there shopping at the time just got rid of this with them. He's a longtime customer, and the Fugitive guys got their hand on the pop before they bought it. Of course, they checked it out. If everyone in the pop community, you guys know Fugitive Toys. They are not going to sell fake Funko Pops. Is it 100% impossible that they won't sell one? No. I mean, nothing in life is ever fully guaranteed. We all know that too. But I trust Fugitive Toys. I know a lot of Funko collectors know and trust Fugitive Toys. So when I got this guy, I knew he was used. I knew that he had a good box. They checked him out. They checked out the figure. They checked out the box. They checked everything out. And the Fugitive Toys, who's very well known, everyone in the Funko community at least has heard of them. You know, so I trust them, and they're a well-known name, and that's where I got this guy from. And that's another and probably one of the biggest pieces to kind of remember. Now, like I said, mistakes can happen. Things can happen. It's always one of those main kind of things that can go down. You never quite know. But I wanted people to kind of know and understand that that's where, where mine came from and kind of what's going on there. And like I said, you can't always tell these things. I know a lot of people always have things questionably fake, and this is one of the things I wanted to show off real quick too, because this is something that I've heard people brought up, and I had another person who left me a comment before asking to please verify. So anyway, I just wanted to do this quick video real quick. And like I said, I can show a quick thing that I showed off on my computer real fast. But look at this, is how it's supposed to be on the top of your Martian Funko Pop. I can go to my TV real quick that I have going on here, and I'll show you a bit of the difference to the net. Watch right here. Go over here. A legit pop, just like mine, would have that right there. The bubble perfectly in there and looking nice. The Martian not as dark, and it's legit. That's how you want it. You go down, look at that bubble. It is right there on the sides, touching the tops, touching the side. And if you look at the Martian, look at this one again. Let's go back a little bit. He is a little bit more nicer looking, how it's supposed to be. And look at this guy on the bottom. He's smaller, and if, like I said previously, he's a lot more darker. He just looks like a darker Funko Pop. It's very weird to see. You can look at the Martians together and tell the very big difference. But right there is the biggest sign and one of the things to always check. So make sure you go through a reputable person who's selling it, and that will be your best way of kind of knowing what you have and what you got and how nice and the way things are supposed to be, at least with this. I'm not an expert in these things. I can only tell you off of what I know and what I've kind of got. You got to do, trust your instincts. Try to go with reputable sellers, and that's it, man. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope this helped out a little bit if anyone who has this Martian is curious of anything. But those are the things to look out for, and I will catch you guys in the next one.